I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.
Welcome to Cookies, the world's most influential basketball podcast. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and Andrew Crow and I are fresh off the plane from Portland, Oregon.
I thought you were going to say something else. Fresh off the boat from Portland, Oregon. I'm very well rested, man. Yeah, I got like 3 days of immaculate sleep next to a fireplace in my one-piece pajama set, sipping some herbal tea. It was wonderful.
Many thanks to the fine people from Portland Art Week. We went out there, did a live pod with Nathaniel Friedman of Free Darko fame. He will be, well, I believe we will have that audio for you at some point shortly. But we did the show live. It was great. Thanks to everyone who put that together. Done out of the cozy confines of a former porno theater, in fact.
Mm-hmm. That we were told about from maybe 6 different people. It's like, did you guys know? Like, this is a very famous theater. But it was not completely renovated. It was cleaned, I assume, and it was painted over. But they kept on saying it had not been completely overhauled. So the adult vibes still persisted, echoed through the hallways.
They kept saying that, but I felt like most of the porno theaters that I've been into, the many, many porno theaters that I wander into to watch films, have basically the same aesthetics.
What aesthetics are those?
I don't know. I've never been to a porno theater before.
Well, this one was taken over by the Portland Museum of Art. So it had artworks by local artists that were crafty, colorful, a lot of purple, a lot of draped cloth type things, a silver rubber mattress that was over the entryway. It was a really big theater. I don't know the real estate market of Portland. I vaguely remember it being extremely valuable and expensive, perhaps 10 or so years ago, but the world has changed a lot since then. It was big, spacious, and it looked like a really sick place to watch a band, a talk, a perfect pod, etc. Maybe even an adult film.
That's what I was going to say. It had a really, really large screening area that was behind us as we perfectly potted, and it made it look like we were at Davos or something. Like, look at these guys up there talking hoops with this massive video backdrop. And it made me wonder if that was how it was when it was operational. It would really get on a follicle level. You really see the pores if you were watching with a screen of that size. I think I would want my porn theater a little more intimate.
Well, I was going to ask, cathedrals, places of worship have very lofted ceilings because they want people to experience the mental space it takes to reach peace and epiphanies. And this theater had like 40-foot ceilings. It was a cathedral of sorts. If you were a fan of this culture back in the day, wouldn't you want a little shoebox? What is more conducive to this debaucherous behavior? A cathedral or a closet?
Right. Can you really get in your bag, so to speak, with the eyes of God upon you?
But like, is everyone just getting in their bag?
Yeah.
Or yes, right? Yeah. I mean, it's like Studio 54. There was a floor.
Well. There's also a dungeon. Oh, great. Here come the sex
There's,
cops.
there's always a dungeon. There's always, even in pizza shops with no basement, there's a dungeon.
Is that a basement down there? Well, yes, but I mean, yes, it's also a dungeon. Yeah, there's some storage crates down there, the boiler if you need to get down to fix the plumbing, but it's also a dungeon if
You
need
know,
be.
8-sided die, dragons, sorcerers, Jalen Brunson, wizards.
The pod was great. What did you think about Portland? I know you haven't been there in a long time. You went there
Since
looking for Ja, looking for Dame, looking for Drew.
I saw them all, saw Ja, saw Dame, saw Drew right off of the airport in Portland Airport. They were there to greet us, as they do in Portland. The Thai food was insane. We had 2 meals that were notable, delicious, incredible, and 1 meal that was not.
That speaks to the breadth of Thai food in Portland, Oregon, where you can find really shitty Isan Thai.
Mhm.
Hard to find.
So we had walked by the old location of Pak Pak, which is now Ak. Okay. A place called Ak, and it wasn't open yet. So we walked by, we went to a different place that looked promising. And I want to ask you if I was out of pocket, because there's nothing I love more than Thai chicken wings. And we walked by the famous Thai chicken wing spot, Pak Pak, no longer open. So I had in my mind, I wanted them. So we sit down.
Now it's just called Ak.
Right. Right. So I sat down and I ordered the chicken wings. The first thing I saw were these Thai chicken wings, marinated in fish sauce with spicy stuff on it. I was like, yes, I want those. And they brought back these kind of frozen Americanized bar wings. I was like, hey, what happened to those? And the server was like, those are not our those are a different kind of chicken wing. You ordered the chicken wings. These are the Thai chicken wings. I'm like, are we not in the Thai restaurant? I did not know about the second wing.
She said you wanted the devil wings.
All I saw was the devil wings. It was the first thing on the menu. I said, I want those wings. And she was like, I don't know what the menu looks like. It's a QR code. That was an amazing answer.
I mean, that also true, right? When you don't
was
have
I in the wrong to ask?
No, and I also think if this was not Portland, you could say, well, you walked in with a white dude and like he doesn't want the devil wings, he just wants regular wings. But I'm saying this is Portland. Everyone eats Thai there. They aren't having a Thai clientele. They're used to gringos sidling up and getting devil wings. I think this is a QR code issue.
It's the tech overlords ruining our lunch.
I mean, if it was a menu and she sees you pointing at it, she could say, okay, so you want the regular wings, not the demonic wings, the devil wings.
I would have liked to have tried the demonic wings. It's okay. Portland is a wonderful city. I wanted to move there once upon in my life because of amazing bands close by, Olympia, Seattle, whatever. It is awesome, but it has a little bit of a tech downflow. I don't know what you call it, a tech culture to it. Everything is very well graphically designed.
Good graphic design. The last thing I want to say about the Thai food, 2 places we went to that were recommended by friends, and then 1 place was recommended by people associated with Art Week. Those places both were fantastic. One was called Pa D, and the other was called
The perfect Pa D.
Hot Yai, or something along those lines.
Hot Guy?
Hot Yai? Hot Yai?
Hot Yai. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Both were fantastic. The other place, I forget the name. I'm not avoiding slandering them. I just don't remember the name. But they had a dish that I adore, and I've only had it a few times. I've only had it in New York, called Nam Khao Todd, and it's basically a crispy rice salad. And theirs was bad. So my thought is that even if you ordered your the devil wings that you really desired so much, they probably would have also been bad.
I agree. The lob was not anything to write home about. That's for sure. It was more Walker Kessler than Blake Griffin. But shout out to Sam Sundos, who we had Thai food with. He has a show up at the Wyden and Kennedy space in the ground floor. I believe the gallery was called. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's the Fisk Gallery or the Fisk Space. It's the ground floor of the Wyden Kennedy building in, I guess that would be in the Pearl area of Portland.
Shout out to Sam. It is that bookstore was killer. Woo! It put the Strand to shame.
So of course he's talking about Powell's, and shout out to them. They took great care of us when The Joy of Basketball was out. And during the holiday season, I remember hearing from friends of ours who lived in Portland that they had 3 separate areas with that book being showcased. So not only is it a phenomenal bookstore, they also have impeccable taste in basketball literature.
That's right. It's huge. It was awesome. I like a good bookstore. Could have spent hours in there. I wish we had more time. I don't know if I'm ever going to make it back with more time. It is a really sick city. I am into it.
Well, you obviously had to get back because you had to make your way then up to the Bronx for Jay-Z's triple back-to-back, was it? His series of shows at Yankee Stadium. Hove,
man. When these shows were announced, I was curious as to what reaction there would be. Big reaction. People psyched. Sold out. On Sunday, I guess there was a 4-hour delay because there was a poor security, poor planning by the venue. People bum rushed the doors, and they started at 11:30 as opposed to the curfew ending at 11. That's wild to be at Yankee Stadium. It's like a double rain delay.
Yeah, again, just going back to your first point. When the shows were announced, I didn't get that immediate feeling of, well, I've got to be there. No doubt. And I like Jay-Z. Always have been a fan. Always have enjoyed his music. But I also didn't go to his concerts at Barclays either. So maybe I couldn't tell if it was because I don't have appropriate enthusiasm for Jay-Z or I don't have appropriate enthusiasm for live concerts. I've seen him once or twice in my life, and both were a long time ago.
You set up the conditions in which to live your life in your preferable way. And there was a time in both of our lives where we probably felt obligated to go to this show, whether it be people who worked on it or an interest professionally or literally covering the show. But I don't do that stuff anymore, so I didn't have to go. And we know many people who did have to go. And the reviews were good, but the bias is, oh, I'm here. I want to create the culture of the moment. I want to talk about the thing. This was actually wonderful. This was a performance for the ages. Rihanna came out. Beyonce came out. This is awesome. I'm scared a little bit because I felt no FOMO. I was thinking to myself, you can't trick me. I was channeling my celestial seasonings there.
Yeah, there are times when I felt FOMO, but I did not feel it about any of Jay-Z's concerts at Barclays where he did, I think, 7 in a row or 11 in a row or whatever it was. Didn't feel it for these either. It never occurred to me to get tickets and go up there. And I don't want that to sound like a hater. In my mind, I was wondering if I was wrong. Like, wait, why wasn't I scrapping my way to get up to Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built to watch Jay-Z perform albums from 1997.
Would you have felt that FOMO if Cameron had announced a Purple Haze show at Webster?
No, I think I'm just not into going to live shows that much anymore.
All right, let me try another one.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Kanye at Hammerstein.
Maybe, I don't know. I've seen Jay-Z do Reasonable Doubt before, though, with a live band. So
that live band kind of kills me.
I don't like it, and I think he did it with a live band again at this show. I believe. I could be wrong. I read Alphonse's write up on it. He went to, I believe, the first two nights.
Pierre from Pitchfork.
Yes, sorry, senior writer over there.
One.
Friend of the pod. He's been a guest, and his write up was, I thought, very even handed. He was like, yeah, Jay-Z gave his little speech about the haters on Twitter and people trying to boycott Amazon. He's like, yeah, that was whack as shit. Just like casually. So that was whack as shit. And then he talks about some of the other songs that Jay-Z does. He's like, well, that was great. I love that part. That was, how he, he's like, I forget those other elements, but it's like, yeah, Jay-Z would do songs. You're like, I don't need to hear this. And you find yourself rapping along every word of it.
Totally. I mean, it's wonderful. It's music, and it's amazing music of our childhood. There is a time when some artists, bands hit cruise control and become legacy performers. And you can hide it by saying it's the anniversary of this album. We're getting back together, all these things. I'm really jealous of Grateful Dead fans because I think they have an amazing experience, and the product is good. They know what the fans want and they give it to them. But when an artist hits cruise control a bit, I don't know if I'm supposed to what I'm supposed to do when Jay-Z keeps on playing old songs that are 30 years, 20 years old. It reminds me of the Rolling Stones fans growing up that were listening to Sticky Fingers.
I mean, really, 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know. It was very comforting to see young people bum rushing the doors. I felt that was great because that means good art is happening inside. Good culture is happening. People want to be a part of it. People want to be present. It wasn't old people like I thought it would be because of the price point and the location. But what do you do when an artist settles in like that? Do you follow them? Or is art supposed to be for a youthful state of mind?
Jay-Z's single In My Lifetime, which did not hit. It was not it didn't break
Jay-Z
out.
also betrayed us. He betrayed us. He turned on us a little bit.
But I was gonna say that was the first single that he put out. Maybe I don't know if it was what the label was, but that wasn't part of the Reasonable Doubt. But that single came out in 1994. It's crazy. It's 32 years ago. In some ways, I think about Jay-Z, right? The inevitability of fans, even as they age, turning on an artist over that breadth of time, right?
Is it the function of music? I find rap, rock, dance music to talk about rebellion, to talk about subculture. And I still love all these things, and it's definitely works. And when I say Jay-Z turned on us, there was that whole data gathering thing where he was more interested in being a businessman, and there was that era where he was just trying to get to be a billionaire, which didn't really give us a lot of warm feelings. And we watch basketball, and it is always a kind of rebellion when a kid comes up by nature. They do things that are new just by being young, and kids are always correct. When an artist reaches that milestone, and I still love I saw Paul Simon's Going Away concert in Flushing. I mean, I'm sorry, in Flushing. Um, it was incredible. He had his old bandmates there, the surviving members. Garfunkel was not there, but the band that recorded Graceland with him was his backing band. People were dancing. It was amazing. But I have accepted him as something I wanted to age with. I don't know. I don't know about Jay. For me personally, I find it hard to age with him.
I mean, to his credit, he retired multiple times and took. I mean, he's only put out one album in the last 13 years. So, as much as we view rap as a part of youth culture, and it is, he didn't necessarily like force feed like him growing into his like early 50s or wherever he is now, his mid 50s.
Did we not talk about Empire State of Mind?
I mean, that's so annoying. I'm saying he's still present, but at least to his credit, he's only put out like 2 albums in the last
It's the most force-fed song I've
15
ever
years.
heard in my life.
No, that sucks. I'm saying he was smart enough to not, I guess, attempt that, right? I saw someone saying it would be a great time for Jadakiss to put an album out. I went back. Jadakiss put out an album last year and no one cared. Like,
Right.
I was
I mean,
shocked. I was like, Jadakiss had an album? Or maybe it was like 2 years ago. But
We went
he's
through
had
Ghostface discography. That was shocking.
Jadakiss has had several albums that no one knows about. And I think Jay-Z, because of his status, realized that's kind of the fate of the old man rapper. Eventually, people just stopped straight up checking for it. And he didn't want that to ever be the case. Okay, so Jadakiss. Yeah, he has albums that no one's ever heard of.
Can you read the screen?
Is this Jadakiss on an album called? Oh no, that's him and a few other people. No, I can't.
Can you
read
read what you're watching?
well, I'm looking at. I'm on Spotify. I was trying to find
Okay.
Jadakiss albums, but it's not helping me out here. Anyway, he had an album called something like Adolphus or something a couple of years ago. That was named after a deceased member of Rough Riders. But I'm on it. I'm really close to getting his discography up. Okay. No, we're here now.
This is insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. Okay. 2015, he had Top 5 Dead or Alive. And then 2020, he had an album called Ignatius. So maybe it is time for a Jadakiss album. We like him again now because of Verses or something.
Ignatius, what word is that?
It's the name of a deceased Rough Rider.
Okay. Sort of like Jalen, a combination of 2 names, maybe.
A lot of those Rough Riders aren't here with us, man. I can't remember if it was D or Wah. One of them died. DMX died. Ignatius also passed away.
Eve is still around, healthy.
The other
good.
2 locks intact.
Mm-hmm,
I know that at least some of them were on stage with Jovito last night.
And Jay-Z cannot have any Knicks references. There's no cross branding there because he's still a Brooklyn Net day one.
I think that was the era that at least more cracks in the veneer of Jay-Z began being exposed. He took a lot of pride in being an owner of the Nets. And it came out that he owned like 1% of 1%, a minuscule fraction of the team, something like 1,000th. And it was just a PR stunt that was used by Ratner and the other developers to make working class Brooklynites believe that this was a project that was, being spearheaded by a member of their community, by someone that they idolized and loved, and it was all a ruse. And as far as I know, he mostly seemed to get front row tickets out of it. and then was able to do a bunch of shows there where he probably just made a couple $1,000,000. And he told us he was a scammer. None of this was shocking. Like, this guy who rapped about shooting his own brother turns out to not be the best dude. But at that point, it kind of crossed the Rubicon to like, this guy's trying to get the kids in Marcy projects on crypto.
Right. He was trying to start that crypto program. My image of late Jay-Z is him in that Tiffany's ad sitting in front of the Basquiat painting in the Basquiat pose, leaning back a little with his hands together with, I believe, Beyonce standing in front of him. Cool. I mean, a lot's going on there, and I understand it's not for me anymore. I don't even know. Maybe it is for me, but I did not. I have no entry point to it. So I heard on Sunday, people left their house and arrived back 7 hours later, but happy. All the people I talked to were ecstatic about what they saw. Is that a form of Stockholm syndrome?
Look, you were there for the Jay-Z Marina Abramovich performance, weren't you? I believe you were in that room.
Yeah, right. That was the downfall of many things, but I could not believe that went down and people were excited to be there.
This
Like, do not get in that camera shot. And it doesn't matter. In the end, it just doesn't matter. Like, Abramovich has her head on his head. Jerry Saltz is dancing. Our friends are in the background. It just all doesn't matter.
But I kind of view it the same way, right? It's like anyone who spent 7 hours on a Sunday night at Yankee Stadium to see Jay-Z, if you made it through there, what are you going to say? That sucked? You're going to say, no, you guys missed out on the best show of all time. Valid.
Yeah. Yes, right.
How would I know? I wasn't there.
It is a certain valor that comes through in hearing people talk or write about it. And I don't care about my Gen X weird idea of people making money or quote unquote selling out. It's just that Jay-Z really hasn't given us that much to chew on in the last 15 years.
100%. I don't think Jay-Z has given us anything that would qualify as interesting. And I know that sounds snobby because some songs he's put out on that album was at 444. There were very competent, capable, likable songs on those records. Not a ton, but there were some. But I don't know if he did anything. But I don't know if he did anything that qualify as or Magna Carta that qualified as interesting. He hasn't been interesting in a while. He's been technically sound. He's chosen some good beats. He's had some catchy hooks, all that stuff because he is a good rapper. But he just hasn't done anything that has, I don't know, captured my imagination in the way that he did when he was younger. He had that rare quality that he could make time stop. When a Jay-Z first started, time stopped. We were just listening to Jay-Z in the way that he would bounce around over the beat and turns of phrase, conversationally, witty, trying to interpret the way he, his punchlines and all that kind of stuff. He just doesn't do that in the same way anymore. And he was still doing it up until, I don't know, early 2000s, 2000. Yeah. But it was, he's had a 30 plus year career.
And not to rehash bits of old perfect segments from old perfect pods, and we've discussed him a lot. But he took a break, whether that be to make a lot of money, whether that be to start a family or take care of his family. But the sensibilities went away from what he was doing when he was at his peak. There wasn't a lineage of rappers who were obsessed with words, who were obsessed with the tradition of rapping, who were that soaked in the culture of wordplay. And then when he reappears, it sounds strange. it sounds like it's from a different time because it was. And music had gone. I mean, Future has a new record this week. Shout out to Robert Nava and Will Welsh. But there was an era where Young Thug, Future, all all these groups were kind of pushing an envelope that was thrilling. And when Jay-Z reappears, just the aesthetics of what he's so good at felt not of that time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking this the other day when I was driving somewhere and playing Jay Z, and there was this density of punchlines, like actual wordplay. He's telling jokes, like puns and stuff,
The best.
and
The best.
they are clever, they are funny, and that's not a huge part of contemporary rap anymore, or at least
No.
from the stuff I listen to. It just isn't like coming up with basically wordplay of like bullets go by you, like Louisiana, man. Like that's clever. The bullets go by you. That's clever. People just aren't doing that. At least I don't know. Most rappers don't use that as they're using rhyme schemes. They're using repetition of words. There are a lot of tactics one can use, but they aren't just coming up with like puns.
And
It was cool, but as you said, it did sound a little dated. It's like, yeah, this was like a remnant of a previous era where being witty was a big deal.
and the wit was still there, but it had migrated to Atlanta, and the wit was more than maybe just the words. I think rap music got better, keeps
Yeah,
getting better, maybe,
maybe.
but it was amazing when Jay-Z was at his peak, and even better afterwards. It was thrilling. And there are certain things that still sound great. Mob Deep still sounds incredible to me. They're not as good as Jay-Z, but they sound better to me than Jay-Z does. Wu-Tang still sounds really great. There's something about Jay-Z that has a little twist that maybe doesn't propel itself as much in 2026 to me personally.
Right. I mean, yeah, we don't have to keep chattering about this Jay Z guy, this new artist on the horizon. But right, I feel like when you talk about Wu Tang or you talk about Mob Deep, it's sort of you get one song, you get all of it. You get the idea. There is an aesthetic that was locked in, and they gave that to you for generally their whole career.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to
Their
like
aspiration was different.
the aspiration was different for sure. I just mean sonically, if you say play a Mobb Deep song, I don't care which one you pick. I know what I'm going to hear. Where Jay Z, it's like, okay, I know what girls like, or it's going to be a Timberland beat, or it's going to be a Swizz beat, or it's going to be a Premier beat. There's just like such a span of wannabe pop songs, up tempo dance songs, emotional songs, street songs. You could say the same thing with Biggie, especially on his second album. But those artists that you love, or at least it sounds like you're speaking of, were ones that just had a thematic sort of trope, I guess what you could say. Like this is what they made. They made a style of music where Jay-Z was more of a experimental.
But Kanye still sounds amazing up until he loses his mind. But we're just talking about so many old people now. Let's talk about the real old person
Yes,
this week.
let's talk about youth culture.
Lindsey Graham, rest in peace. And Jay-Z fan, I heard. Now that these NDAs are no longer relevant, he was into the Blueprint 1 and 2.
Is it factual that he was in the dungeon?
I don't believe anything on social media anymore. And this is basically going down on X Twitter. It's turned into 4chan. So all these images, all these gotchas and talkbacks, I cease to believe any of it. So if a wrinkle of any
Wait,
story is
what are you?
true, I don't know.
Are you some sort of halfway cuck? Speaking of Mobb Deep,
Yo, ain't no such thing. But in our hotel rooms, there was like many pieces of furniture that were extraneous.
Well, we didn't have the traditional cuck chair.
What is
Sort
it?
of
Oh, right, the
you,
armchair.
you know, an armchair where you can cross your legs, light a cigarette, preferably with like a long holder. Then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, lean
Yeah,
back,
this
cross your legs, and watch. This was
a
more of
halfway.
a
It was
halfway.
halfway.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a halfway cuck chair where it was narrow, but also kind of a lounger, and then had a little TV dinner ass stand
Yeah.
that came around so you could work on a laptop while your spouse was engaged with company, perhaps.
And the three of us had met up in the lobby. It's like, "Damn,
Wait,
you
the
guys.
three of us? Is this about the cuck chair?
I mean, Sam stayed in the same hotel and he verified the cuck chair.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, you're getting a little too intimate because then we got to reveal who was in the cuck chair.
The NDAs are still valid until we
Okay.
keel over of a Russian bomb attack.
That was a test and you passed.
But this was more of a therapist vibe, leaning back, tell me about your childhood, which is not so different than being a halfway cuck. Like in psychotherapy, Freud stuff, halfway cucking, I don't know.
So anyway, Lindsey Graham, he is no longer a halfway cuck. He is dead. Andrew, you've changed my mind about speaking ill of the newly deceased. Now I think it's
Why?
fine because of you.
Danny Ainge, you like the Walker Kessler signing? Rest in peace, Danny Ainge. You did good. Oh, I mean Walker Kessler dispatching.
No, you have changed my mind. I used to think it was bad form to say nasty things about people who had died. And you're like, well, when's a better time to say it? You're right.
Okay, so say it.
What? Lindsey Graham's a bad person. He's an evil man. He's a terrible, terrible, terrible person.
Lindsey Graham was a lost man. I think this has been documented. I can't really call him anything because he just goes with the wind, and he let a lot of his old friends down. He just goes to wherever the power is. I don't know what he believes.
This may be true that he was not a diehard believer in anything, but all we have is the choice to believe him at what he said. And the guy was bloodthirsty. He was someone who seemed to enjoy people dying. And that to me makes him evil. And I don't think there's any question that he qualifies as an evil person. I mean, to have him eulogized by people like Cory Booker who call him a hero. It's like, I know you guys are all in on this together. Oh, just stop making it so obvious. Give me a little daylight so I can pretend you guys aren't all in the same homicidal cabal. Jesus Christ.
Decorum is going to end in our lifetime. It's just going to be over. But there's still people holding on to it. Sort of like wordplay in music. It will be gone eventually because you mentioned a few politicians like Cory Booker, Donald Trump himself, saying nice things about this man. But overall, it's been kind of insane, the reaction. I don't know what role decorum plays in the fear of death, accepting death, contextualizing someone's life. I always think if someone's having a hard time on the street, that cliche of at one time they were a baby and somebody had high hopes for this person. That is enough for you to be kind to that person because people don't want to end up a certain way. I don't know with politicians that I disagree with. And I agree, Lindsey Graham has said things that have shocked me, that he has said to shock people like me. I don't know where he went wrong, man. This was before the Trump second term. There were many words written about him being succinct and talking about how this man was hard to pinpoint because he might not have any foundational opinions.
Yeah, I just think there's this decorum is the proper term, but there is this professionalism around politics where it's like you may believe what you believe and I may believe what I believe. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, Team USA. We're all in this together. So like we may argue like cats and dogs over legislation, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to make this country a better place. It's like fuck
But you say no, but that's real. That I hope so.
It's not real.
We're here, aren't we? I don't know. America's an idea that fluctuates between good and bad. I don't know. We are here. We have lives. I can't speak to every politician, but the ones we do know of are hard to wrap our heads around because I'm not sure what their motivations are. But at the end of the day, the government just chugs along.
We are a imperial meat grinder for sure. I just mean that at some point there has to be responsibility. We can't say that all of those politicians who saber rattled and led us into war after war after war, into military actions overseas, into rising fascism at home, all these things, we're just doing it for the betterment of the country, that their hands are clean of the havoc that they have wreaked upon countless millions and millions and millions of civilians overseas and many civilians here at home. I'm just thinking of when it was your boy Chris Cuomo with Adam Friedland. Friedland?
Friedland's your boy. Come on.
Friedland. Sorry, I'm getting the Friedland, yeah. And he's like, Chris Cuomo is incredulous. Well, what's your problem with George W. Bush? And he's like, well, he killed 1 million people. It's like, yeah. You can't just say it was a difference of policy. No, those people died. They actually died. They are staring up from graves. They are men, women, and children. They died because of policies that people like Lindsey Graham put into effect. They are bad people, in my opinion. It can't be chalked off as to just differences of opinion because they aren't just differences of opinion. They cause real things in the real world.
I mean, Bernie Sanders has voted for things that have killed people for sure.
And they all deserve credit for it too. I'm not pushing this all on Republicans for sure.
It's when you join. I don't have a job where I have to go to Yankee Stadium to see Jay-Z anymore. I don't like politics. I don't like politicians because the minute you enter this world, you are complicit. Mandami is complicit. Now that he is an elected politician, there it is. You have to go endure a 7-hour Jay-Z show.
It is hard not to be compromised. I agree. But there are also differences, and you also have free will.
I mean, Lindsey Graham is probably the most hated politician aside from the obvious. For the heads, like him and McConnell, like are hated by the real politics heads out there, and there's not much love for that person. And it sounds silly to say every person's soul matters because he does not feel that way. And to think about the suffering that these politicians have caused, perhaps to value their own suffering from their families and themselves. I don't know how to do this. I'm not a politician. I'm not a spiritual person by nature, but this is really tough to navigate because when I saw he died, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this.
I mean, look, my animosity is equally towards the Democrats. So I'm not someone who's like Hillary Weinmom, like, goddamn Mitch McConnell. I just think they're responsible for doing bad things. And just as you said, so are many, many, many Democrats. And I think that's what I was kind of referring to when I said Kamala Harris is there being like, RIP to a real one, my dog, Lindsey Graham. Like, right, because you guys are all part of the same crew. At the end of the day, you guys are all bad.
He represents the person who crossed the aisle back in the day before things got Twitterized. He was an example of someone who was kind of reasonably liked that lost his way. But the stories were that he was just McCain's understudy, that he was just into stuff. He was into being interviewed. He was into having attention his way. And that is not a sustainable perspective, in my opinion, because the light will guide you to straight into a fire. And it did for him.
What's interesting about him was that he didn't accumulate the kind of obscene wealth that someone like Nancy Pelosi did, or many
allegedly
other.
They're saying 1.3, which is a lot of money. Give me $1.3 million.
But for a senator,
right,
who's been there for a long time, making, what are they making, about $300K a year, probably.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm reading. He was involved in something called the Aspirational LLC. Whoa, and there was a $200 million payout that went somewhere to LG2.
Siegelman Stables Headwear? What is this operation?
To think that we would know his net worth is tomfoolery.
I'm just saying he was just in it for the love of the game.
This man's personal life was very complicated, as we're finding out. His money was also probably very complicated. I bet you it was not as much as we think it is.
But let's talk a little bit about Money Mitch. Your boy, Mitch McConnell. Or
feel better, buddy. I can't be mad. He's married to a Chinese person. She's great, right? Google. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. It's not good.
She's really cool, right?
We started this pod with Fresh Off the Boat, and we're still here.
Oh, Elaine. Oh, Elaine.
No. Well, she never served in public office. Oh no. It wasn't influencing policy.
Oh, Elaine.
At least she's by his side, though, as he recovers. No, he's not. She's in China.
Here's my thing, Andrew. Like, proof of life should be pretty easy. Like, it should not be challenging to do a proof of life.
Hiring a graphic designer should be easy. Giving some kid $2,000 to not fuck this up should be very easy. Like, can you supply the assets to make people think he's alive? It's like, sure. I'm just gonna pull this image from a 2023 photo shoot.
But I don't even know if that's true. It's all insane.
I don't believe anything. No.
I'm just dying because it's like, all right, no pun intended. If you're like, Ben, just real quick, can you shoot over like proof of life? Okay, cool. Let me just record this real quick. What's up, Andrew? It's Ben. Yeah, totally alive. All good here. You know, July 14th, we're dropping the perfect pod. Is that good? You're like, yeah, you're totally alive. Okay, thank God. I was worried there for a second, but it's definitely you, and you are alive.
Right.
Or I'm like, here's a dubiously AI-generated image with me seeming to hold today's newspaper propped up in a chair. You got to be dead, right? If that's the best you can do for proof of life, you got to be dead.
If I was that graphic design intern in a cage getting less gruel, I would say to the McConnell team, it can't be this head on. It can't be this cage. It has to look a little casual. It kind of has to be a video. You guys cannot put this picture up because it'll get torn to pieces. It does not help our cause. Think simpler here. It's like, no, he has to look strong. Maybe 10 years younger. Maybe his wife has to look 10 years younger. It's like, no, you don't have to even show her. You know?
Ben,
don't show her.
Ben, it's really important that you get over proof of life to me right now. I just need it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm trying to think of what would work. Hey, can I send you like the photo we took for our book, and maybe you can just like Photoshop a new like Knicks win the championship tee on me? Like
Yeah,
just like make it easy. Like just Photoshop an image of using old photos because I'm super alive, and like that's the
there's a
easiest way to do it.
there's a Fader magazine party shot of me at the Blueprint 2 listening party. Just use that one. Um,
Zoom
you
in on Jay-Z and Marina, and you'll see me in the background. Just
yeah.
just use that. I'm alive.
Do not show a newspaper to introduce the idea of proof of life. Do not do that. The intern was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do the whole Russell Crowe movie thing. Leave the newspapers out. You don't need the newspaper.
Okay, I know you like the newspaper theme, but did you have to do like the ransom note with the dates cut out of different size typography? Why did you even do that? He's not a hostage. He's just in the hospital.
It's wild. And to kind of show the newspaper, but kind of not, just feels suspect. Ay.
But it's going to be today's newspaper, and he's going to release a statement and not mention Lindsey Graham.
Right. And it's been a few days and we haven't seen anything since. And who took the photo? This is the number one thing with internet stuff. Can we talk to the person who took the photo? Can they get on the phone? This is important. He's a very important lawmaker. He is a voted official. We have to find out. This is a part of the whole process. We can't just be like, well, what does he do anyway? Which brings up another dilemma. But who took the photo? Talk to them.
You may know this better than I do. I've been busy in Portland dropping perfect pods. I don't know what you've been up to the last few days.
Dropping those Z's halfway cut.
Has there been a widespread media inquest into whether he's alive? How has this not been sorted? This feels insane that we are now living in a country where one of the most powerful politicians has not been seen by anybody in several weeks and is still in office. And there are actual rules and regulations about how his seat would be filled that are reliant on whether he is alive or dead or functioning or non-functioning. And no one seems to care. I know Twitter cares, but is this a main story? Like, is he alive, or just everyone just pretending it's normal? I don't know. I don't watch cable news. I couldn't tell you.
Well, on Twitter, it's a whole Scott Jennings thing. Yeah, it's being debated on CNN. Scott Jennings went on Abby Phillips' talk show. No, maybe a different talk show, and said, I talked to him for 20 minutes. We talked about policy. We talked about everything.
He's very
And
reliable.
Right. Yo, I saw him at Donahue's once. He didn't always used to be like this. Like a good 10 years ago, he was fine. He was a conservative voice on these panels, and his vibe was very much, yeah, you might be right. I disagree, but you have a point. Like that was his thing. He turned heel, I think. Lamestream media is on the ropes a little bit. I don't know how they handle this without missing. There's too much risk here. And when you're on the ropes this bad, you can't get anything wrong. You got to mitigate that risk and draft Con Knipple. So Scott Jennings said he talked to his mentor, Mitch McConnell, and there's been a lot of debate if he's lying or not. CNN had to put out a statement saying this is not reporting by CNN. This is a contributor who said something that was not approved by us. This has not been sent through the proper channels. He just said this. So whatever these contributors say on these shows, we are not reporting that. Which is kind of fair. Whatever.
I'm just kind of more baffled by the lack of intrepid journalists. You're saying you can't get someone up in that hospital? You can't get someone
I'm
up
saying
in there looking through that window? What's going on in there?
I mean, there was that neighbor who said a lifeless body was carted out of Mitch McConnell's home. There was
Different,
crying, and there was no
different,
urgency.
different lifeless body. It wasn't him.
It was the corpse of Dane, the GM of the Utah Jazz. It was Chubb Rock, alive or dead.
Alive and well. Alive as the debate about NYC immigrant neighborhoods.
Wow, here we go.
So
what are you talking about?
Zohran Mamdani's administration put out a map, and I believe that it was created under the Eric Adams administration. I'm not 100% sure. That was something that was said. And it's a comprehensive look at the enclaves where immigrants from around the world have settled in New York City. So if you look at Jackson Heights, there are several different communities: Colombian, Ecuadorian, Mexican, Himalayan, Bangladeshi, whatever, little spots. Or if you go up to Uptown, Senegalese around, 1/10th, 1/16th. And of course, the Russians and Ukrainians in South Brooklyn, the Polish in Greenpoint. One group notably was excluded, and they are furious, and it was your paisanos.
Wow. What?
They said, "Where is Little Italy?"
Incredible. Because today I walked through Little Italy.
Oh, what are the odds?
What are the odds? I went through and I was looking around. There's new stuff. There's a new Lindustry pizza next to one of my favorite restaurants, Nonia.
Jeremy Lindustry?
Jeremy Lind. It's a Linfinite jest of burrata going on over there. First, can I get on my soapbox about burrata on a slice? What the hell? What the hell?
Not into it.
What the hell? Yeah, it's not good. What the hell?
Sorry to make a mockery of the grievance of the paisanos about being excluded from the ethnic enclave map, but I've got another pizza discussion for you. So apparently Vietnam's #1 pizza chain that's based on Japanese influences opened in that little Japanese complex on Norman Street in Greenpoint, and it looks delicious.
Did you try it?
It just opened I guess a week ago. I didn't know about it until today, but it's a Vietnamese chain that is influenced by Japanese pizza that is opening here, and it looks really good, except for one of their pies has a big pile of burrata on it.
I hate it, but I love it because, as we know, world history, Vietnamese know their bread, their French bread, their dough. So I'm very interested in this triangulation of cultures forming the best pizza slice ever. So I was walking by Lindustry, and there was a lot of people in there, and I was very, very hungry. And I was like,
were you wearing a trench coat, and as you walked, people came out and were like, "Don Quo," and handed you a slice?
Or was I on someone's shoulders with a super long trench coat trying to get to a Cookies Hoop's Perfect Pod performance at some theater? We'll never know. Little Italy looks different now. Oh, I got pizza thoughts. Okay, quickly. I just want to go through.
We just can't focus on the Italians' grievance. We just keep talking pizza. Go on. And I got some spaghetti thoughts after that.
All these good pizza places are all the same. We've reached another critical mass where it's just like the same stuff. Lindustry is plain at this point. You don't have to wait in line. You can get this slice anywhere. Upside Pizza's right up the street. It's kind of the same thing without that stupid piece of burrata on your slice. So the Italians gave us San Gennaro, Dante Di Vincenzo, Danilo Gallinari.
Currently, over in Williamsburg, the Feast of Giglio.
Is that getting bigger? Because that used to be like laughably small. Is it getting? I've been hearing about it.
For some of us, it's always been big.
No, I mean, they got a Ferris wheel now.
Oh, they got a lot of stuff. I walked by there the other day. I saw the big, weird Giglio structure.
What'd you get? Some funnel cakes? Did you get a cannoli? What'd you get?
No, they were setting up.
Nah. You're
and,
not. You're
and
just you're bricking in Greenpoint, dude.
no,
You're not getting any of these Italian treats.
this is Williamsburg. They were they were setting up, and they're cobbling together their little baked clam shacks and their sausage shanties and their hovels for funnel cakes.
Those sausage coils.
There's a guy doing the lighting that's gonna like splash all over the pole. And he's the only guy in the chair like, "What are you, the fucking lighting guy for the feast?" And he's like, "Yep." And I was like, "Sick." that was the entire conversation. I was like,
"Nice." Italians have a very strong sense of nationality. If you even roll through the adjacent blocks of, I guess, Mulberry, Mott, all these streets, you see Chinese people selling Daddy's Little Meatball tees, some footy jerseys. It is drenched in this country's lore. Growing up, it wasn't really this way. It was kind of shrinking in the 90s, aughts, and by the 10s, it started coming back a little bit. The joke of San Gennaro maybe propelled it to be bigger than it ever was in my childhood. And the neighborhood changing, Nolita becoming more affluent with Seagram and Sable fans, has definitely contributed to that neighborhood heat map. So it is on the rebound a little bit. Do Italians have a beef here? I know it's never a good look to say you forgot about us, but did this map forget about them?
well, it didn't say ethnic enclaves, to be clear. It said immigrant communities. And people who live in Little Italy are not immigrants. They are,
but famously Ellis Island immigrants. Famously.
Again, they are. It's
From
unclear how many.
Mussolini, right?
Well, there's a few different things here, right? Where it's like, how many Italians actually live in Little Italy versus? I'm just saying, or is it a theme park based on Little Italy? How many of those people live there or are coming in from Staten Island or Jersey
How many
or Long
chicken wing
Island or
servers live in
whatever?
Hell Square?
I just mean it is not an Italian enclave at this point. It's not like maybe there's
but it's symbolic, right?
Well, that's what I mean. It's both symbolic as an immigrant community, but it isn't an immigrant community, and the people who live there are not and go there are not Italian. They are Italian American. They aren't Italian, and they aren't immigrants. But they won. They got the victory, and they were added to the map. And what a tremendous win over that damned communist.
Of course they won. They should be on the map. It's one of the most famous neighborhoods in New York City. Am I wrong? Little Italy is very famous. What are you doing leaving out Little Italy? The most famous immigrant population in all of America, perhaps.
Except that there's no immigrants living there.
This is semantics, though, because you don't really... I mean, Greenpoint is not Polish there's Italian people in Little Italy as much as there's Polish people in Greenpoint.
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about a couple blocks. Like, how many people are living there, growing up there, speaking Italian?
I mean, this is granular, man. You're getting granular.
I'm saying
like Chinatown is like not just Chinese people anymore.
Oh, of course. I'm only saying there are many, many people in Greenpoint who were born in Poland. They're the older people, but that still qualifies. The older people in Little Italy, I doubt were born in Italy. They're not the people who came over 150 years ago.
Because the Lower East Side is a Jewish neighborhood, but not many of those tenements are still used with that.
Yeah, that's not on there as an immigrant neighborhood because it's not.
You're an immigrant cop. Wow. So what?
I am Irish after all. The most immigrant cops of any group. We
Is there
naturally
an
become
Irish?
immigrant cops.
Is there a little Ireland anywhere in New York
Yeah,
zones
yeah.
where
I forget what it's called. I'm not that Irish. There's a little spot up in the Bronx that's super, super, super Irish.
yeah, that makes sense.
I
Um
forget. I'm spacing on the name. It's. They're like, yeah, anyone who comes here from Ireland goes there first, and it's like, oh, you're just gonna know somebody, and like that's like what they do. It's all Irish bars, which
yeah,
is great.
yeah. Yeah. But Irish culture doesn't have the draw that Italian culture has because of spaghetti and pizza and burrata. It's weird how approachable and accessible Italian culture is because of food. And whereas Chinese people have an insane food history, perhaps ever heard of Marco Polo?
I mean,
You know Marco
your
Bellinelli was
beef
the
with
antagonist.
your beef with the Italians, Lynn versus Gallinari. This goes back centuries.
Did they ever cross over? Gallinari was long gone before Lynn, right?
So the area I was talking about, just for the record, is called Woodlawn Heights, and they do call it Little Ireland, and it is specifically spanning parts of both. It's on the Bronx Westchester border, spanning parts of both Woodlawn and Yonkers. The border area is known as New York's Little Ireland. There you have it.
I forget. I went to one place to get like a document, and it was a little Greece. There was all these Greek restaurants, and I went in. I forgot where I was. I was at the end
Astoria?
of, yeah, maybe it was Astoria, if I remember correctly. And the people at the place I was getting this document said, "This is the most amazing food neighborhood in all of New York. The seafood doesn't get any fresher. The
I
pita."
mean, if that was Astoria, that they have good Greek food there. Before we jump to basketball, I can't remember if I mentioned it. So if I did, just we'll keep it moving. I went out to watch the end of one of the Morocco games on Steinway, also in Astoria, but that's the Middle Eastern area. That was one of my most fun parts of the World Cup. They won the game. Everyone flooded onto the street. Zoran was there. He got into his SUV and was driving off, but they couldn't make it through the crowd because everyone was converging on the street to celebrate. So it was kind of a march with all these people shooting off flares and smoke bombs and celebrating as Zoran and his black SUVs were sort of trapped in the middle and slowly going down the block at like 0.5 miles an hour.
That
And then they ended up losing.
Italian dude.
Then they lost to the French. So it is what it is. At
Well,
least they made the World Cup, unlike the Italians.
You mentioning Morocco reminds me to give you a big fuck you.
Oh, thanks. What do you got?
Because you recommended this very good movie to me, Surat,
Oh, yeah.
based in Morocco. And you told me you're never going to forget it. It's not fun. Watch it at your own risk. And I was like, I'll watch this. It's about techno and the desert.
We're getting on the plane. We're getting on the plane back to New York. So you got 5 hours to spare. So if someone says you should watch this movie, you're really vulnerable in that moment.
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh, this."
I look at the screen. I was like, "Oh, they got Surat." And I was like, I mean, I've seen it. I'm not going to watch it again. I'm like, Andrew, look, they got Surat. You've seen this.
You're like,
really
it's about techno. There's a speaker on the image of this movie. It's about people going to the desert to rave. And I thought to myself, sort of like Jaylen Brown, I love NASA. I love raves. Sign me up. It is on the level of Funny Games, of Unwatchable. And it is a great, great, great movie. I never want to see it again.
Me neither.
And fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's really good, and there's a couple of scenes that will never leave you, Andrew. They haunt me.
You. Yeah, I still think about it. I'm like, Lindsey Graham died, but who doesn't? Who doesn't? No spoilers.
Well, I did have that. I had a tweet where they were like, Wemby's coming to New York and he's just watching movies before they go. It's like Surat. He should watch Surat. He should put that on, and then take the court after watching that the next morning. And I think that'll really have a good impact on his game.
It's possibly one of the best movies made in the last 5 years that you cannot watch. But it's about borders. It's about climate change. It is about heaven and hell.
It's
It's
about,
crazy.
and yeah, it's tough to talk about it without spoilers, so we just won't even bother. But you
Yeah.
can just be like, "Fuck you, dude." I think
Fuck
it's
you.
about,
Fuck you. It was so good and I hate you.
I think it's also about the idea that worst case scenarios are possible, and we just never think they're going to happen. Like you make
Or
you make
we
you
never
make
had a
bad
chance.
you make bad decisions, and you say, "Yeah, but it'll be fine," until it isn't.
Yeah. The motif, without this won't spoil anything. The motif of techno music was really interesting because on the surface it sounds frivolous, but it is about prayer. It is about prayer for rain and recovery. It's an incredible movie. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that my anger.
And also, even though you cannot watch it again, I will recommend that people watch it with a good sound system because the techno sounds amazing. It has really high caliber sonic values, which probably you didn't get all of with airplane
I didn't
headphones.
even I didn't even get subtitles. I was just like watching these guys speak French, and I was like, I can understand half of this because I've hung out in little
Sounds
Paris.
sounds like you got to watch it again.
No, fuck you, man. Never set foot in
Dude,
that movie again.
make your wife watch it.
Yeah, it's about techno. She'd be like, ugh, forget it.
It's about deserts.
Yeah, it's about the friends we made and lost along the way.
Exactly. Speaking of which, let's talk about hoops.
Talk about the desert.
Let's talk
Take
about the
it to Las
desert.
Vegas.
Yes. Las Vegas Summer League underway. The rookie sensations have come out to shine. The star of the show so far, your boy, Acuff.
Darius Acuff. He's getting a lot of hate on social media, NBA Twitter. Mostly, I think he's an imperfect player. He's a bucket who doesn't play much defense or have good off-ball instincts, but he's entertaining. But Bill Simmons really loved him. And now that the mask has been revealed, the tiny green hand has been exposed, people don't appreciate the takes from that part of the media corner. But Acuff, we don't have to think about Acuff. He's not going to be any more or less than Malik Monk.
No, I actually am not a big Acuff hater, but I also wasn't an Acuff believer.
He's always been this.
He looks like maybe a better version of Cam Thomas, but Cam Thomas isn't without his charms either.
He can score.
That's what I'm saying.
In a minute.
Like Cam Thomas, who is out of the NBA, who is like probably a top 30 scorer on earth.
Yeah, he can definitely. And there's a lot of players like that recently that have entered the NBA. And this draft class after the Big Four has a few of them. And the lines coming out of Vegas are very much like 24 points on 45% shooting, 2 for 6 from 3, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 3 assists. It is all shooting guard, Jordan Poole bucket getters.
Well, right. It's like you look at someone, like Cam, who is putting up 28 a game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, efficiency of about 58%. He says, well, those are literally Jaylen Brown numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Literally Jaylen Brown numbers.
Yo, have you noticed the culture changing? Obviously, Celtics fans are doing some deep diving finally. It's changing a bit. Celtics fans are feeling better and better about this deal. No surprise.
And Sixers fans still believe that Gansey is cooking, so the truth will be revealed. We will see.
Right.
But big 3 rookies in Summer League thus far. Big 4? Let's say big 4. All of them are giving their fan bases plenty of optimism. No one looks bad so far. Out of those guys that we're talking about, obviously, Debantia,
AJ, Caleb,
AJ,
Booze.
Boozer, and Wilson. Who are you liking the best so far?
I think and AJ number one. That was a correct pick. He's big. I think Peterson, even though his turnovers have increased alarmingly, and whatever, he looks amazing. I always had Caleb over Boozer, but Boozer's nice. He has the lowest ceiling, but he's going to be an all-star. These guys are going to have great careers if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, very, very cool. Two classes in a row. I mean, so Boozer today, 29 points. I'm sorry, 29 minutes, 21 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. But yep, that's just
Great.
kind of the stuff he's going to do. And
Yeah.
Grizzlies are really a perfect place for him because, I mean, they got rid of virtually everyone who scored points in that team between Triple J, Bane, and Ja. So him, it's a weird team, but him, Edie.
Edie season. Amazing. I want to see this. That's cool.
I'm locked in. I'm like,
point Booze. I want to see it.
I'm like, Coward's kind of cool. I'm sort of in on this team.
It's more interesting than John, Triple J, and Bane, even though those are 3 good players. I enjoy this a little bit. That was purgatory. This is not purgatory.
Yeah, I think Boozer has looked exactly as expected. The great thing about Peterson was that he's kind of reclaimed exactly that level of prospect that was anticipated before he went to college. Like, this is a phenomenal guard prospect. He's Kobe-esque. He's SGA-esque. Just his ability to get to wherever he wants on the floor, his ability to shoot from everywhere, his ability to get to the basket, his ability to draw fouls. And then his 1 year at Kansas was so plagued with sort of mini controversies and questions about his heart, and he was having cramps and all these annoying issues that popped up. And at least thus far, this is the guy who was promised, that was always going to go top 3 in the draft, and he looks awesome.
Yeah. Any surprises other than my boy Tyler Nickel?
I mean, not to just immediately pick the Sixer, but I think LeBaron Philon looks cool. He doesn't look different from what was anticipated, and I am a little worried that he's Bones Highland or Lou Williams or something. You know, skinny guards who mostly rely on beating people off the dribble.
Lou Williams, who are in my Hall of Fame.
I just mean, who's the best
Jamal
skinny?
Crawford.
But Crawford was 6'6". Like, who's a skinny 6'3" guard?
Malik Monk.
Well, Malik Monk could jump out of the gym, though. I mean, he was a phenomenal athlete, and he's probably like 6'4".
He's a dunker.
Maybe 6'5". He's kind of big in comparison. I don't know. I think Philon looks awesome though so far. Like, really creative, plays off 2 feet in the paint, and you know, some of the conversations we had that hopefully everyone will be able to hear with Nathaniel were about sort of dribbling in the modern game and whether it's stylish enough or individual enough. And he does some of those moves with tweens and hezzies and crosses, finishing with, you know, without using the backboard, which is like the filet finish. There is a bit of style to him that is quite fun. But just shouting out the Sixer, that's all. Yet another little guard.
And yet another guy behind Jaylen Brown. So we'll never know until Jaylen Brown's done with his Sixers tenure. Find that extension, Brown.
After his massive max extension.
Yo, the Sixers Apollo Global is gonna pay him. You're gonna have the next 6 years of Jaylen Brown.
I cannot believe the Sixers did that shit. I cannot.
They're definitely gonna pay him.
I cannot believe they did that. You have a number 3 pick on the verge of stardom, and you say, let's add the guy who missed more shots than anyone in the NBA last year and led the league in turnovers. Let's put him in the mix. It's so crazy.
Insane.
Anyway.
At least he keeps to himself and isn't addicted to Twitch and isn't a distraction with his bevy of opinions.
No, that's all the stuff I like about him. That stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the upside, in my opinion. Anyway.
We're talking about Jaylen's extracurricular personality. We're talking about Cam Thomas maybe not being in the NBA because there's rumblings around that he is not the easiest guy to be in the locker room with. What's up with Tyler Herro? Is this a smear campaign by Udonis Haslem and Big Heat?
The rumor out of Vegas was that because all these players from different teams show up, it's become a bit of like a team building exercise / social event, chance to stunt, if you will, where not only the rookies and undrafted free agents and guys who are trying to make the NBA vainly run around on the court, but the stars show up to watch them. And they just kind of hang out, whether they're there to party or just meet with other NBA players or gamble. I don't know, but they're all there. Tons of them are there. It's like, oh, look, AD is here. Nick Nurse is here. Nick Nurse. But Trae Young is here, and they're on the sidelines watching AJ play. It's a thing that NBA players now do. And apparently there was an interaction between your boy Bam Adebayo and my guy Tyler Herro, and Tyler got snuffed.
Got punched by Bam. Tough guy. Over some words that were spoken upon Herro's departure from the Heat Culture headquarters, and Bam, as the enforcer that he is, in the shadow of UD, made it physical. Does a real man punch, or does a real man stay silent or talk shit on the way out?
I mean, it's not really a fair fight, but whatever. I mean, they're both professional athletes. It's hard to say it's not a fair fight when they're both like the top 0.0001% of athletes.
Yeah, Bam is definitely bigger.
But they're not in the same weight class. That's true.
They're not in the same weight class, and it feels as if this story was meant to be leaked, because there could have been a scuffle and we would never have known about it. We know a lot about fights in locker rooms that we hear about either decades later or never publicly. We heard about this one right away. Maybe they lost her. I don't know the details, but if they lost their composure around other people, that's one thing. But it leads us to believe there wasn't harmony in that Heat locker room the whole time. And there's
only one Harmony in Florida. He doesn't live there.
Yeah, right. Shout out to kids and Gummo. But it was leaked that Herro maybe had sullied the relationship with his teammates by not being available when he could have been, that perhaps he didn't play through injury. And for someone who always drafts Herro in fantasy, I'm with Bam Adebayo on this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the motivating cause was for the scrapping, but I kind of like Tyler Herro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's not debatable. Yeah, he's cool.
I think he's a pretty good player, but he's also like a really funny character.
He's a really good player. He just can't stay healthy. His numbers are amazing. Remember his coming out party during the burger bubble, and then he was made unavailable in Harden trade packages, and I think he'll never live that down. But his career has been really good when he's on the court.
I mean, made the All-Star team 2025. Per 36 minutes, 24 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, true shooting percentage 605. Those are Jaylen Brown-esque. Jaylen Brown-esque number. Yeah. Better scorer for sure.
I'll take that. Right. His knock is he's a bit small to be that lackluster of a defender at times. But he's a bucket. I like him.
Bad defender.
Yes. Jaylen Brown. Yeah, Jaylen Brown is up and down lately, but has had good defensive years.
I would say he is an average defender who is better on ball than off.
Yeah. What's going on?
I gotta stop doing this to myself. I gotta stop looking at every $25 million kind of halfway mediocre players' numbers and just saying, yep, they're Jaylen Brown numbers. Don't make me look at Tobias.
Okay, Gary Trent Jr., Jaylen Brown. Pick one.
Okay, all right. Ooh, let's talk Trent. Nate Duncan, your boy, your day one. So that's the worst contract
podcast.
So that's the worst contract in NBA history. Gary Trent re-signing with the Bucks, represented by Clutch Agency. 4 years, $64 million per season. Total, that's $16 million a year for Gary Trent. Now, he was good last year, right?
No. Not statistically. No. Very, very bad. Not bad.
No, he was good. He averaged 8 points a game, a rebound, and an assist. He shot 39%.
His shooting was like 5-0 something.
He shot 39% from the floor. He doesn't look like. Oh, he did have 3 blocks
total.
Yeah. And look, I'm no believer in
right.
BPM. Who can say if BPM is really a great stat or not? You know, it's more of a thumbnail. It's negative 5.4.
A lot of good players have negative 5.4 BPMs.
Is that good?
You won't catch me looking at numbers, math. Eye test tells me he's a $15 million player.
Hey, nerd.
He's Mitchell Robinson good.
Hey, dweeb. Are those numbers good?
So the conspiracy theory people that I follow are saying Mitch McConnell is actually an alien who never lives or dies.
Gary Trent, I need proof of life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And they are saying that something funny happened in Gary Trent's last veterans minimum contract for 2 years, which was an odd one to observe unless we believe that the Bucks thought he was just an average player off the scrap heap, which is more plausible than giving him this contract. So what happened when they didn't? How did he get compensated for those years where he wasn't getting paid anything? With all this gambling going around and all these people making money off the books, shout out to Aspiration Gate and Pablo's reporting. What's going on in Milwaukee?
Well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to give you one other little note here that out of every player in the league who played 1,300 minutes, he was third worst behind Drake Powell in Brooklyn, Cody Williams in Utah by BPM.
Cody Williams, woof. His third year in the summer league has not been good.
So that's a great point. Gary Trent was just as bad as a third-year player who is back in summer league, and yet he's making $16 million a year.
Do you have his contract numbers up? What was his contract before?
Well, is this Stiegelman stability?
I mean, it must be, because it seems as if the Bucks had to make good on something.
So I will acknowledge, as someone who I've not heard this conspiracy, but it's hard not to believe it. So early on in his career, he was a journeyman. Toronto re-signs him, and $16 million a year, $17 million a year, $18 million a year. This is the kind of money he's making now. He goes to Milwaukee for $2 million a year and then $4 million a year. Of course, Milwaukee was a cash-strapped franchise at the time due to certain players having their contracts at that time. You had Giannis, you had Middleton, you had a bunch of other guys. This looks, fellas,
is
it sus to take is it sus to take a $3 million veteran minimum coming off of an $18 million contract? Is it sus?
And it's not as if he proved himself to be a very valuable part of that team. It was surprising to see that contract and that number, and a lot of people did double takes, myself included. because I had not thought about Gary Trent that much. I remember him on the Raptors having some big games, hitting a bunch of threes, but in Milwaukee, kind of a non-issue. To get that contract seems like he may have something on them or they owed him something.
So, guys, I'm betting on myself. Ooh, snake eyes. It's cool. We'll take the money anyway. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We trust you.
Does it feel like the NBA is walking dangerously close to some edge with Chauncey Billups, with Jonte Porter, with Malik Beasley? These are things that are Kawhi Leonard, that trade to Toronto is on hold. These things are harder to bury than McConnell's death.
I mean, Giannis drumming up trade rumors and then revealing that he's owns at least part of Kelce.
Yeah. The Giannisy. We'll see. Jalen Brunson signing with the Knicks and them losing a draft pick because some shenanigans went on. And of course, him taking less money is just valor, right? It is just because he's a team player and they weren't punished for breaking a rule even before that.
I mean, my thing is, I forget, I think it was Team Ziller. I just saw it paraphrased. I didn't read the newsletter. But he said, can we just be clear then about these ideas for the NBA that they're just suggestions? That it is no holds barred. Like, use whatever means you can to acquire players. Do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, it's much in the way that the players weren't allowed to smoke marijuana prior to it now being made totally legal. But you would have to be high all the time and a complete stoner to get caught. Where it's like, we're going to test people for weed next week. Don't smoke weed this week. Whatever, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just that idea, like, hey, the salary cap stuff, we don't take it very seriously. Just your team should be using all means, all Siegelman hats, whatever you can do. Tree planting organizations, do whatever you can to pay these guys because we don't really care.
Right. And with the NIL being a tenuous compromise in the amateur ranks, which makes them professionals at this point. The NBA years ago with Silver announcing they were going to go all in on gambling wasn't even a fair warning as to what actually went down. I had no idea it was going to be on this level.
Me neither. It felt like they were just, hey, we're going to partner with, I forget, it was like MGM or one of those gambling houses in Vegas. Okay, they're going to take a profit or something off of giving it the stamp of officiality.
There's going to be a team in Vegas eventually. They're going to have ties with these mobsters in the movie Casino, whatever. I did not know that gambling was going to be something that could destroy an entire generation.
Wait, are you talking about the immigrant community in Las Vegas?
The Italian immigrant community, they were not welcome.
I didn't say it.
No spoilers. No spoilers. Shout out to Pesci. But gambling is a whole other conversation. But in the way that you have no love, rightfully, for Lindsey Graham, I don't have any love for these gambling companies. I think they suck. I think they are more detrimental than opioids. It's going to ruin many people's lives.
Look, we may disagree on policy, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to figure out who's going to win these games. We're just trying to predict the winner and by how much. We just want to know.
Get math out of sports. Meanwhile, I'm going to put these bets on these over-unders.
You fucking nerds. Okay. All right. Is Justin Edwards going to get over 2 rebounds today?
I was listening to some eye test guy, a friend of ours, talking about. It's like, well, I have like 5 bets, and if I lose them, I made 3 other bets to like counteract my potential losses. And I'm like, and you can't handle box plus minus? It's the simplest thing, man. True shooting is not that difficult.
Look, nerd, get
Field
off your
goals.
calculator and help me
Yeah.
figure out these prop bets.
Yeah.
There's a
But
multiplier that I can't do.
But what I didn't anticipate, and I should have, because the writing was on that wall with Donaghy, was I knew this gambling culture had the potential to ruin the lives of fans, but it's going to ruin the product potentially. And this wild west of profiteering is going to reach the point where certain players on teams are either not allowed to be on them or playing a certain way to increase their profits personally.
Well, it's one of those things that is, if it continues how it is, inevitably one of these scandals is going to disrupt the game in a way that will tar it in a really bad way. And that's not going to make people dislike basketball or even basketball players, but it may have the impact that like the drug scandals did in the NBA in the 80s or the gambling scandals did in college
Or
basketball.
MLB. You're talking about baseball, Sammy
I
Sosa,
was saying,
Barry Bonds, right?
well, I was saying you had those drug scandals, and I was talking about also in the 80s or 70s, everyone thought that the NBA players were like freebasing cocaine, and we
Right.
talked about it in the book.
Sure.
Or those gambling scandals that ruined college basketball in New York, way
Mm.
back in the day with like Columbia College and stuff like that, or Manhattan College. I forget exactly.
And bias.
Right, but these things that were reflective of the game, sooner or later, something's going to happen where it's going to tar an NBA Finals. It's going to change a playoff series. Something is going to happen, and it will be undeniable, and it's going to fuck up the game. And they're playing with fire, and they don't care because they're making so much money off of it.
Yeah, and it
They
won't
don't
be
care. They don't
it
care.
won't be losing the trust of fans. It'll be losing the trust of gamblers. Something's going to happen to erode the trust of people who put money into these apps. Not me and you who might see Wemby bricking shots on purpose and thinking to ourselves, what is reality? But the people who will enact the reaction you speak of will be people who lose actual cash.
Yeah, I think the greed that the NBA has shown, that is, and it's just also like the rest of society. It is seeming to grow exponentially. They cannot stop clawing for every possible dollar, and nothing they do seems to enhance the fan experience on an equivalent level. There's no balance to it. There's no, we're gonna make it. Yes, we're gonna, scramble for more cheddar over here, but at the same time, we're gonna make this a lot better for you. It's like, no, we're gonna put some of those FIFA robotic things in so we can rig it. I'm sorry, man. Those FIFA animation things are so rigged. Get the fuck out of here.
Has anyone checked the market to see if someone placed a 500K bet on the Jay-Z concert starting at 11:30? There was a UFC fight on Saturday. Conor McGregor against Holloman, I believe. And superstar guy, getting long in the tooth a little bit, like Obi Toppin, goes into the ring and right away something is wrong with his knee and has to call the fight. So ostensibly the fight never happens and everyone's really disappointed. All the pomp has been pumped. All the circumstances have been circumstanced, and there's no fight. And immediately the reaction is, who made money on this? Because UFC is awash with gambling and money in ways that the NBA is striving to be. So the minute this outcome occurs in this Conor McGregor, I believe, pay-per-view fight, everyone's trying to figure out who walked away with what. How much money did McGregor walk away with? Who put bets on this outcome? who knew about this? Was he hurt before? Did he fake it? Is he building up for it? This was the last fight of his contract, I believe. He might be going to Netflix. It's a whole thing where the distrust is everywhere you look at a McConnell proof of life photo.
Well, fortunately, if you don't want to deal with this version of the NBA, what with its analytics and its nerds and its gambling, there's one franchise that is taking it back to the essence, about the stuff that really matters. It will always be 1983 in New Orleans, where Joe Dumars, the silent killer, is oblivious to anything that has seemingly happened in the last several decades. What an incredible time capsule.
You've grown to love Jaylen Brown, and I understand that. He's kind of delightful. I've really grown to love Joe Dumars. What a lovable buffoon. It's like, oh, I did that wrong. Okay, never again. Next summer, I will not make any mistakes like I did with the Queen trade. Oh, I did another mistake where I cost my team millions in the cap with DeAndre Jordan.
Okay,
Just incredible.
So for some quick context, among the blunders they have made, obviously in last year's draft, when they acquired Derek Queen, they gave away a future draft pick, and it was much more valuable than anyone thought they should have given up. And people said to them, well, why didn't you protect it? And it almost felt as if they didn't think you were allowed to do that. Whether or not this is true or not, they're like, yeah, they seem to kind of not consider that idea that you might want to, protect a draft pick. And they ended up giving Atlanta a pretty high draft pick. I forget who it was. I think they got one of the guards, right? I think they gave up they ended up giving up the 8th pick, Kingston Flemings, who's actually looked pretty good at times in summer league. But so they ended up giving up 2 picks for Derek Queen, and one of them was the 8th pick. But it could have been much worse. It could have been one of those 3 or 4 guys we were speaking about earlier. So this year, Joe Dumars is like on his A game. No mistakes. He's got this. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan, which is also funny. I think DeAndre Jordan is known as being like a pretty awesome dude. He's good in the locker room. He's got to be funny. He just sticks around the league. He plays a little bit.
Talk about a halfway cuck chair. The chair.
Oh yeah, that was a halfway cuck. But yeah, I think DeAndre is just a good locker room guy. He's a vet. Everyone likes him. Cool. You want to bring him back? Great. So by the rules, if you sign him to a 1-year contract under this like 10-year veteran minimum deal, part of that money doesn't count against the cap. And instead of signing him to back-to-back 1-year deals where they would be liable for like $2 million of that on the cap, they signed him to a 2-year deal, which that qualification does not work. So they cost themselves like $4 million in cap space or whatever it is for just no reason whatsoever.
He forgot to use his coupon. He forgot to present his coupon upon purchase.
Yes. And it's also funnier because it's for DeAndre Jordan. Like we're spending an extra $4 million a year on DeAndre Jordan. And again, the takeaway was they just might not have known.
Right. Because the story behind that Queen trade was no one could believe Dumars had offered this. And then later on, Dumars was surprised at the details of it. It's like, oh, that was bad. I got to give him credit, though, because the big mistake he could have made this summer, he didn't make. Which is,
where are you going with
that? Because
real fucking funny.
Because we heard about the availability of Herb Williams and Trey Murphy, the third. and the Celtics being interested, I'm like, this is gonna happen. He's gonna bring on an all NBA player, a
Dude,
finals MVP.
the Celtics went to all the savviest organizations, the Bucks, the Sacramento Kings, the Pelicans, and they weren't smart enough to trade for Jaylen Brown. Only the Sixers had the wisdom to do it.
I thought he was going to New Orleans. I thought Trey Murphy. I thought Stevens had crosshairs on Trey Murphy because he was, of all the players, considering their contracts, rumored to go back to Boston. He was the most Brad Stevens-y one in terms of his value and cap hit.
Yeah, I thought they would just do like Poole, Trey Murphy, and some other shit, and get Brown for that. Secure Brown, but they didn't have the guts to bring in Jaylen Brown.
So shout out to Joe Dumars, someone who traded for Derek Queen and then benched him at the end of the season to win more games. Just wild stuff going on.
To win more games so that they wouldn't look bad.
For making that error.
They benched Queen in order to win games to try to make the Hawks get a worse pick, because then it wouldn't look as bad for them.
Oh, it's so charming. It's wonderful. It's great. I think that the tapestry is rich.
If you're the Hawks, you're like, dude, what are you doing? Come on. What do you care?
Yeah.
You're desperately trying to make our pick worse? Thanks, Dick.
I mean, there is no league without Dumars and Ronadive. It's the rich tapestry of the NBA has to have the highs and lows. And I appreciate these teams for being in character more than I think they will be.
I just love
they
Joe
drafted
Dumars.
Darius Acuff.
Yeah, the Kings. Wow, you were the most king of kings, Acuff. The absolute. Of course, you're a Sacramento King.
Of course. I can't believe Silver's thinking about expanding the league when these two teams exist. But it's not about anything other than an ownership group that just wants more money to accept more people into their coffers.
Is Joe Dumars trying to prevent the Pelicans from getting moved or trying to get them moved? Well, what is his ulterior motive here, other than him just out there smoking Salem's, kicking the wheels of his Trans Am?
That Detroit Pistons team is fascinating, man. They end up being a wild collection of dudes. If you consider Isaiah Thomas, obviously the Worm, Dennis Rodman. Bill Laimbeer ends up being the straightest shooter out of all of them. Like,
also an incredible WNBA coach.
Yeah, he's a respected WNBA coach who doesn't really make news. And he was the bad boy. Rick Mahorn is a colorful dude, but he's not weird. He's just a media guy.
Yeah, he was trying to be a stand-up comic and announcer.
John Sally,
I believe he had a role, or no, it was John Sally. I take that back. But John Sally was the one who had a role in Eddie, the Oscar-winning movie about Whoopi Goldberg becoming the coach of the Knicks.
Wait, you talking about Eddie the documentary?
About John Sally and Rick Fox and the championship they won for the Knicks.
Yeah, the first one since 77? 73? If the league doesn't take advantage of Dumars, then what is the league doing? Dumars has done nothing. Is the league giving him enough respect, or too much, too little, or too much respect here?
I mean, look, I saw Brad Stevens and making a beeline for the Bucks, the Pelicans, the Kings. I knew what he was up to.
Yeah. Hey,
But
I had in my life I have made a mistake as bad as the Queen trade. For sure. I shouldn't have bought that. I shouldn't have sold that. I shouldn't have moved when I moved. I can remember regret that I still have, like watching that excellent, horrifying movie you suggested that will haunt me forever. Um, excellent movie, just really great, beautiful, and terrifying, and sad. But
fantastic.
then, yeah, I can relate to that. But what kind of war room is there in New Orleans where the guy in charge, is it like a president thing where the guy in charge says, I think I know what I'm doing. This is what we're doing. And everyone else is like Lindsey Graham saying, we trust you, sir. This is great. Please don't fire me. And then you just get a kind of interesting team if they just run it back.
Yeah, but then they also brought in Troy Weaver, who has a very checkered history as well. Troy Weaver was the guy who was hired by the Pistons, who made a series of bad trades and blunders.
Mm.
And then I think he went to the Wizards for a second. I think I could be wrong,
A
but
storied franchise.
he's Joe Dumars' like right-hand man.
Yeah.
And people say the claim is that he is pretty good at identifying talent. Like, yeah, he can tell talent. I don't know if this is true. That's just what the sort of, shorthand on Troy Weaver. Good at identifying talent.
Yeah.
One of the worst at making trades we've ever seen. I don't know how those things really jibe unless you just don't believe in protections or you don't know the rules.
Culture switches on a dime. I heard someone speak of the Knicks Summer League in terms of a culturally aspirational team in New York. So there's a winning culture here, and all you have to do is follow along and you will be successful, which is insane because as recently as last year, this was not the case. Pat Riley, after years of dropping his rings on tables, finger guns at in draft war rooms, looks like a McConnell-esque team president. I don't think any of these classifications that we put on these basketball executives is that lasting. Dumars could trade Herb Jones for something we really like. Zion Williamson could play 70 games and be an all NBA player, and all of a sudden it's a winning culture in New Orleans.
Troy Weaver's tenure in Detroit. Drafted Killian Hayes.
Yikes.
Cade. Drafted from Cade.
I love it. Love it.
Jaden Ivey.
As we know now, that was a mistake. We didn't know on draft night. I thought that was a fine pick on draft night.
Asar Thompson, excuse me.
Amazing. That's not bad. That's not a bad draft history.
Yeah.
Although you have number one, like what do you take Cade?
Right. I was going to say they're all very high picks. So
yeah,
he totally bungled two of them and nailed two. I mean, because I think Asar is very good.
But did he trade Ivy? Was he there for the Ivy trade before Ivy imploded? He was already gone.
He was gone. Anyway, he's the guy who's hailed as the talent evaluating king, but a bad trader. I didn't go through all of his trades. I think they're actually worse. Anyway,
the Pistons are good though, and I think the Knicks should be worried about the Pistons.
He's out though. He's Dumars now.
I know, but his fingerprints are on that team. If it's Thompson and Cade, the two best players.
For sure.
Yo, what's up with Jonas Valanciunas saying no to Leon Rose today?
What's his deal? Is he staying in Europe?
Yeah, he's going to Europe. He's going back to Lithuania, I believe. I get it. He's homesick. America's like not that amazing. He's played in Toronto, which is a great city. Come on, give New York a chance. He might like Little Italy. Ever heard of San Gennaro, Jonas?
Well, where has he played? That would be a great American city. He's definitely played in New Orleans. He's definitely played in Memphis. What else are we missing here?
Toronto. You're gonna make me look this up.
Toronto. Did he play in Sacramento for a second there? He was in
Did he
Denver.
play for the
last year.
Pacers?
He was Denver last year. That's all I got off of memory. I felt like he was
All
in the
right,
Kings.
let's see. I'm bringing it up on my
All
phone.
right, bring it up. I think I got 5 of them.
Okay, Toronto until they traded to the Memphis Grizzlies,
Yep, got
to
that.
the Pelicans.
Yep.
Oh, you missed the Wizards. You missed the
Oh,
Wizards.
yes.
Stand
Yep,
up.
yep.
But you got Sacramento, respect.
Yeah.
And obviously Denver.
Forgot about him as a Wizards legend, but
Totally forgot 12 games. You missed those 12 big games as a Wizard, man.
I was going to say, yeah, you get a pretty good feel for America with that. You got Toronto, which is like the only,
Great.
but it's also like you got the North American international city. You got the nation's capital. You got the bowels of the league in Sacramento. You got
Mile
championship
High Denver, puff.
championship culture with Jokic. You got the dirty. Yeah, he's seen it all, done it all. He's out.
Yeah, he was looking for that immigrant enclave in Leon Rose's New York, but he couldn't quite find it. Like they're going to include.
What do you mean, little Ukraine? Just go out to Coney
Veselka?
Island. Go out to Brighton Beach.
Second Avenue.
Oh, actually, that's on the list. They put it in there. The whatever that is, 9th Street and Avenue A, 9th Street and 2nd Avenue. Yeah.
Wait, there was Chinatown. Chinatown was in there 3 times, right?
Yeah, they got Chinatown in Queens, Chinatown in Brooklyn, Chinatown in Chinatown,
Manhattan.
and then they also have. But yeah, they had little Ukraine there in the East Village.
Can you name all of them? Do you have them in front of you?
No, it's like 100.
Okay, and they left out Little Italy. Yo, Little Italy has to be on there. Come on,
it's on there now. Dude,
me and Nancy
relax.
Mace are outraged. Me and Nancy are just.
It was getting it put back on there was a historic win for the Italian community. Historic.
Burning my cannoli. What I think. Okay, if I had a hot take, I think the red sauce spot in New York City set back culinary culture decades. La Linguinerie, we don't need them. Do we need a Cacio e Pepe spot? Another one?
Yeah, but they're just like comfort food.
So this is what I wanted to talk about back in that segment. Italian culture is so easily consumed. Is it because the food is so mild? It's a good date restaurant. It's a good place to bring your parents. Not like flamin' mapo tofu or a fish head curry stew.
Yeah, I think it's for one, New American, of course, is like a whole cuisine in cities like New York, but it doesn't really mean that much. I think it would, if you went back to like formative years when less cosmopolitan Americans were getting into quote unquote ethnic food, it would have been German food, Italian food, Chinese food, French food. So I just think it was like one of those pillars and probably the most accessible.
Because we're as a country, we're obsessed with Italian food. It is a staple thing in home cooking. Spaghetti, jarred spaghetti sauce, ragu. This was kind of a manufactured phenomenon, wasn't it?
Maybe so.
Pantry staples.
I mean, that could be it as well. Shout out to Ragu. Rochester's own Ragu.
I used to eat tons of that stuff. Prego, Ragu, that sweet stuff. Love it.
Prego. Prego, get that out of here. This is a Ragu family.
Wow, Ragu only. So are the Knicks the Italian Are the Little Italy the common base denominator? I talk about the gentrification of basketball, of team building through a Knicks lens.
Knicks are 100% the Italian team. 100%. It's not even close. No one else is even comparable.
It's like, what's for dinner? It's like, do you want spaghetti, baked broccoli, and fried
Mamma mia,
calamari?
that's a lavo meatball.
You're burning up my meatball. Yeah, I mean, this might be another perfect segment for another perfect pod.
You know, it was a perfect pod even without that segment.
This one?
This one.
This one. Yeah. Wow. I was worried for a second because I got mad about a movie.
I love cookies.
Wait what we see.
I love cookies.
Cookies.
I love cookies. I love cookies.